Diversity in voiceover. From a marketing perspective, we continue the marketing conversation this morning. Good morning. I'm Bill Deweese, professional voiceover talent and voiceover coach, author of this is my latest book, Get Paid Using Your Voice. Link below in the description if you want to know more about this. And also, I invite you to join my voiceover training program. This is my YouTube channel, but it's not my training program. My comprehensive training program, the Voiceover Blueprint. Link below in the description. Check it out. I've been on a roll with the voiceover marketing thing this week. I just looked at a very kind email a few minutes ago who said that my videos were on fire this week when it comes to marketing. So, and I guess I am a little fired up because I understand. I know I talk a lot about marketing. Certainly, I understand the performance end. I understand the audio tech, and people in my voiceover blueprint know that that's a big component. We cover everything's covered. But I want you to, especially if you're newer to this or you're struggling, that your problem is most likely marketing related. And so that's why I spend a lot of time talking about the business end of voiceover, about the marketing end of voiceover. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm wide awake and ready to do that. And I've got to share just a quick story. On my way to the studio this morning, I was getting ready to come downstairs to my studio, and I hear this bang against the front window. I look up just in time to see a bird bounce off of it. But thankfully, the bird flew away. But it reminded me that several years ago, when I was in a studio for voiceover in Chicago a few years back, I met the guy who played the voice of the bird in the Windex commercial. You know where I'm going with this? Remember that commercial? There's a bird that flies into a window and goes bang. And he was the voice of that. But he was struggling. You know why? Because apparently animal advocate groups got upset that a bird running into being portrayed as running, it wasn't a real bird, but being portrayed as running into a window was offensive. So that was his main gig. So he was trying to figure out how to make more money in voiceover. So that's why marketing is so incredibly important. So let's talk about diversity in voiceover. Remember the old saying you heard growing up, don't put your eggs in one basket? There's a lot of wisdom in that saying. That's just not a random saying that came out of nowhere. That comes out, there's a lot of wisdom in that. When you put all your eggs in one basket in voiceover or in any business endeavor, excuse me, meaning that you're primarily focused on like 1, 2, maybe 3 clients, and you're hoping that they take care of you, then you're really vulnerable, because what happens when one goes out of business? And the problem, let me tell you where I'm going with this. We're going to talk about Todd Barslas the other night in his class talked about diversity within diversity in direct marketing, and that's where I'm headed. But when I talk about working with individual clients, I don't necessarily mean individual clients. I mean sources of work. For instance, platforms. If you're only getting work off of voices.com or Voice123 or Fiverr or Upwork, what happens if that platform goes out of business? And it does happen. Or what happens when they change their algorithm and you can't figure it out? And one day, you're cranking right along and you're doing well. And then the next day it's like it dries up. And it may take a while to figure out what change they made with our algorithm. It doesn't mean, all is lost, but it can take a little time to pivot, regroup, and figure out what's going on. That's why you want a broad variety of sources of work. Now, the great thing about direct marketing is that it's like, excuse me, it's almost like buying individual stocks. All right, you're not going to you're not on a roster or a platform where that roster or that platform is supplying you with the multiple clients. You're actually going out and getting those multiple clients yourself. So let's say over the course of time, you've got 10, you've got 20, you've got 30 clients. Some come to you frequently, some to you not so frequently, but it's a basket of clients. And one of those clients goes out of business. Well, what happens? Well, you certainly notice it, but it doesn't put you out of business. It might not even be that big of a deal, depending on how much that particular client was generating for you. And let me tell you from experience, this really touches me in a deep way, because COVID really taught me a lesson. It reminded me of a lesson. I knew the lesson, but I didn't realize how vulnerable I was. I've got a lot of clients. I've got a big basket of clients. that I've developed over the years. But what will happen, and this is, I think it holds true for most everybody, it will become, it'll look like a pyramid. And at the bottom of the pyramid will be a lot of clients who use you on occasion. You might hear from them every 3 months, once a year, once every couple of years. So, they come, they go, but they're around, but they're not all that frequent. The further up the pyramid you go, fewer clients who come to you more frequently. Until you get to your top tier, you might have a top tier of 3 to 5 clients who use you on an almost daily basis. And it's not unusual for the bulk or a big part of your income to come from those clients, obviously, that use you the most frequently, but it might be a small group of clients. Well, in my case, it was like the reverse of winning the lottery. When COVID hit, my group of top tier clients, every single one of them took a big hit during COVID. And for a lot of them, or for a number of them, a few of them, I didn't hear back from them they didn't have work from me for like a year or two. No kidding. It cut my income in half. Now, pre-COVID, I was making $300,000 a year plus, and so half of that's still a really good living, and that's fine. So I built my business to last. But the point being is something unexpected like that can put a big dent in what you're doing. And I've been working to build that back up again. And so, all's good, no problem, because it's a business, and this is what happens to businesses. But you can never, ever just rely on one source of income or a client. Otherwise, you will be in big, big trouble. So make sure that if you're not doing the direct marketing thing, I would really strongly encourage you to rethink it, because this diversity within diversity, having this, you could say, well, I do, I'm on this platform, I'm on this platform, and I do direct marketing. But direct marketing is not a platform. Direct marketing is a way of marketing, so they have a lot of individual clients. If you did nothing but direct marketing, you would have the most diverse portfolio of clients of anyone in voiceover, because that's the only way that you're marketing. And so these individual clients give you great security down the road, because if one client decides, let's say that they decide to sell, they're retiring, they want to sell their business, they're getting out of it, or they go out of, we hit a recession, they go out of business. It's a blip on your radar. It's not a devastating event. So it's just good business sense to do this, and I want to encourage you to be thinking that way as you market. And if you're really are not all sold in, you haven't bought into the idea of direct marketing, I strongly encourage you to do that. It's one of the smartest things you could do in terms of growing your voiceover business. And Todd's the recordings from his training on Tuesday are available through tomorrow. Then that link goes dead, but they are available through tomorrow. So if you're thinking about it, you're considering it, I strongly encourage you to go. I'll put the link in the description below. At the very least, go check it out and just see what all's covered within the class. Because if you add that strategy to what you're doing, it's going to help ensure not only your growth, but your future success and sustainability. It's one thing to grow a business. It's another to hold on to it for the long term. And having diversity in your portfolio of clients is an absolute must. All right, guys. Well, let's see. Appreciate you being here this morning. And let's see who we've got on the live stream. If you haven't yet, take a moment, if you would, just to let me know where you're watching or listening from this morning. We got Rusty in Michigan, Nephi in Tennessee, Sirius in North Carolina, Phil in Tokyo, Emma in Huntington Beach, Rob in Cincinnati with the Ryder Boys. We've got Scotty in Brookings, South Dakota. Scotty was top 10 today. Well, Scotty, you're getting close to the top. Good deal. Standing by in Columbia, Missouri, it's Aaron, Rebecca in Michigan. We've got GS in Rainy, Longview, Washington. John's in Rhinebeck, New York. Terry, good morning to you in Falston, Maryland. Mike on the Jersey Shore. Dong Chow in Plano, Texas. Melissa in San Diego. Rick in Des Moines. Mark, good morning to you in California, Central Valley. Rusty is encouraging everybody to click the like button for the video. Thank you, Rusty. I appreciate that unsolicited request. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, always clicking, sharing the video is greatly appreciated. It tells YouTube that there's value to this video, and it encourages them to share it with more people. And help me spread the word. Rusty, thank you for that. Ralph, how are you doing in Fresno, California? Greg in Asheville, North Carolina. Sandra in the Dallas area. Wayne, Port Orchard, Washington. Anthony in Phoenix. Ralph, Cedar Falls, Iowa. Jason in Nebraska. Alex in Utah. We've got Brian in San Antonio. Dale in Atlanta. John in Memphis. Casey in Missouri. Gene, Dallas, Fort Worth. Craig, good morning to you in Lomita, California. We've got, Tolga is in the house this morning. Amanda, what's going on in Westchester, Pennsylvania? Tyler, checking in from Springfield. Landed my first job through Upwork and finished unpaid work with a friend. Also, currently working on marketing. Tyler, good on you. Good deal. Tim and Altoona, Maggie in Pittsburgh. We've got Atlanta checking in. Dennis, happy Friday, Junior. I think this is the first time I've heard a Thursday referred to as Friday Junior, but it works for me, Dennis. In Pasadena, thank you for that. Marla in Texas. Merrill saying hi while on vacation in Fort Lauderdale. I actually just did the voice for a new pinball game from a very popular movie. I signed an NDA, so I can't disclose more until it's in the arcades. That's fantastic, Merrill. That's a bell ringer. Congrats to you. John, what's up? We got Heather in sunny Florida, Bob in Wadsworth, Ohio, where it's a chilly 41 degrees. Professor Tracy in Rochester, Minnesota. John in San Francisco. Lamar, how are you doing? We've got Jess in Austin. Dave in New York City. We've got, Jerry in the Netherlands checking in. Fantastic. Jason in Newport, Oregon. Joy in Chile, Southfield, Michigan. California in the house this morning. Stacy in San Diego. Jeremy, hello to you. Wally in Annapolis. Jeremy in California. Kendi in Ontario, Canada. Voices by Tracy in St. Louis. Krista from the sweetest place on earth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sugarland, Texas. So true. He who controls the leads controls the business. Dumasani in Johannesburg, thank you for being here today. John in, John says, hearing my name is like in Romper Room. I mean, that's why I do it. I still have those very vivid memories of Romper Room for those of you YouTube, but if you haven't seen it. But the host would get in her magic mirror, and I would wait for her to say, I see Billy, because I was a big fan of Romper Room when I was a kid. This is the adult version of that. And we've got Amisha in South Carolina. Guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Don't forget, Todd's videos go away after tomorrow night. So if you want to get the in-depth, comprehensive training on direct marketing, it's all there in the description. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.